Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I thought I'd put my business teacher hat on, just for a little while, and discuss why we know for a fact that the Pokemon trading card game at the moment is absolutely crushing. Now, I don't know about you, but I hear a lot from people. What? The Pokemon trading card game is still going? Yes. It is absolutely still going, and we can't probably say it's healthier than ever, because I remember the absolute fever back in the late 90s, early 2000s. That was a little bit ridiculous. We'll probably never quite go back to the base set era and how ridiculous that was, but we can say with absolute certainty that right now it's doing very, very well. Now, there were some little business-to-business communications that went out to retailers over in Japan, and the lovely Antoine Boulet has translated some of the information for us. And we know that they sold about 17.5 million packs of Sword and Shield. That is, of course, the first expansion of the new Sword and Shield block. Although do please bear in mind that in Japan, packs are smaller and cheaper, so that wouldn't translate to quite as many packs over here. And to be honest, the number, it doesn't really tell us too much. Numbers out of context are irrelevant. But it is 126% more than Tag Bolt sold in the same period. Now, Tag Bolt was one of the later Sun and Moon expansions, and it had the Pikachu and Zekrom in, and it was very good, and people liked it, and it was fun, and good set, quite frankly. And it did alright. But shall we say, since Sword and Shield has come around, things have been a little bit better. We've also seen that the Sword and Shield sets from S1 to S4, that is the first 4 sets combined, sold a total of 52 million packs, which is ridiculous. And in the first 10 days, they actually sold 500,000 V starter decks. Those are the ones that had your Wailord and such in. The ones which ended up making their way, most of them came over in Champion's Path, although we did get a few of them in other places, tin promos and the such. So that's some impressive numbers. They sound pretty good. It seems to be going all right in Japan. Numbers are good. But the other thing to bear in mind in Japan, they are starting to have tournaments again. I told you a few days ago they had a big 1,500-person Champions League in Yokohama. And even though they had about 1,500 Masters, plus about 1,000 Juniors and Seniors, you couldn't just go to that tournament. Now, again, I've checked this with the lovely Antoine so that we can know for sure that I'm not just remembering things incorrectly. And Antoine has told us that, yes, you did have to apply online, and it was decided in a lottery system, and essentially not everyone who wanted to go was able to go. Antoine described the process as considerably oversubscribed. Although the good news is, this season, because of the way the world is, not being selected for one Champions League will increase your odds of being selected for a later Champions League. So, not only are the sales figures superb, but they literally have too many people trying to play in tournaments, and they are oversubscribed and having to decide who's allowed to play on a lottery system. That, to me, sounds like a game that, I mean, I would call it healthy, but I think healthy would be a massive, massive understatement. But that's Japan. What about outside of Japan? Is it doing as well outside of Japan? And the answer is yes. Now, it is hard to get sales figures for all the individual games and compare them, but there is a wonderful website, ICV2, and twice a year, every 6 months, in spring and in fall, they publish their list of the top collectible games. And inevitably, number 1 is Pokemon. A lot of people think that Magic the Gathering is a bigger game than Pokemon. I understand why they would think that. It's not true. Magic the Gathering is not a bigger game than Pokemon. Magic is number 2, Magic does very well, and Magic is another very successful game that is not going anywhere anytime soon, but Magic isn't number one. Now, I could show you this table that seems to suggest Magic, in fact, is number one, but it is number one in the hobby channel, which is to say, when you actually go into local game stores, etc. If we go to the mass channel, that is to say, I believe stores like Walmart and Target and all of that, essentially your mass market shops, we are looking at Pokemon being number one. But of course, the most important one is the overall. And overall, we've got Pokemon number one. And this isn't some new development which has just happened. Pokemon is generally number one on this list. Pokemon is the number one. Now, this isn't a perfect system, don't get me wrong. We've basically got a website which is running around talking to retailers, distributors, manufacturers. It's not the most transparent process ever, but it is the best we've got, and it shows that Pokemon is very much number one. It is worth pointing out that in spring 2019, Magic had actually jumped it. Overall, spring 2019, Magic was number one, but Pokemon's back on top where it belongs. Now, it is worth pointing out that the Pokemon Company generally, it's in a very good period. The lovely folks over at Nintendo Life have gone and published an article. I will, of course, link it in the description. And they've got a chart from GameBiz.jp, which seems to show, well, it shows the profit, ladies and gentlemen. It shows the profit of the Pokemon Company. And you will see that it was doing fine and turning over a little bit of a profit 2014, 2015, 2016. And then in 2017, we went from a profit of, 5 million-ish up to a profit of almost $160 million. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Well, to be fair, 2017 is when Pokemon Go launched. And you'll notice that Pokemon Go had a pretty good effect on the Pokemon Company. It is very, very fair to say that Pokemon Go was the main catalyst for the gigantic growth that the Pokemon Company have seen over the past 4 years. And it's very, very difficult to argue against that, given how well we know Pokemon Go has done, and given that, well, look at the chart. That is what was different. Now, of course, we have seen a fairly big increase from 2019 to 2020. It is worth, of course, pointing out that something fairly important happened last year. That would be the release of the Pokemon Sword and Shield games. They were moderately successful, as you might have known. And Pokemon Go continues to basically just be an absolute juggernaut. And honestly, we're going to start seeing these sales figures for Sword and Shield go down, probably at about the same time people start getting bored of Pokemon Go, which honestly doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. But that does lead us to the question of, all right, Wassy, but how, have you got any figures for the trading card game? Well, I've got some. The lovely folks over at toyworldmag.co.uk have gone and given us some information. That is, it's a really cool magazine, but it's also a trade magazine, which is to say it's not made for regular people who are just interested in toys. It is made for people that work in the toy industry. I'm going to see if they'll let me have a subscription. I honestly don't know how it's going to go. But I'm referencing them in a video, so I'm hoping that will help soften them to me, or me to them, however way around that goes. And now this is talking about Pokemon toys generally, but they do look at the Pokemon TCG as well. And essentially, the figures they've got is that UK toy sales for Pokemon in 2019 were up 24.1%, which sounds good, but again, numbers need to be taken in context. The market as a whole shrank 7.1%. So when the toy market as a whole is going down 7.1% and Pokemon is going up 24.1%, what that basically tells you is that Pokemon is crushing. Now in Germany, they saw a 100.6% increase in sales when the market generally was growing by 3.3%, which is pretty good. But they then did go into a bit of detail about the card game market generally. And it is the market leader. Number 1 slot in the UK, number 1 slot in Germany. Obviously, this article is talking about the UK and Germany. UK sales up 30.8%, Germany sales up 98.8%, and the market had a total growth of 71.7%. One thing that's really interesting here, and I think this tells you quite how well Pokemon is doing, Pokemon generates over 50% of the total revenue of the top 14 best-selling brands, that is trading card game brands in the UK, and more than treble that of the 14 next best-selling brands combined in Germany. Which is basically to say it is doing absolute monster numbers and is continuing to grow. I can't tell you what the Pokemon TCG is going to look like in 5 or 10 years' time, although if it's not healthy, I'm going to have to find another way to not be a full-time teacher. But I can tell you that right now, the Pokemon trading card game is as healthy and is doing as well as it has done, frankly, for years. And if you're a fan of the game, this is a good thing. And if you're one of those people that's going, wait, is the Pokemon TCG still around? Yes! And it's an absolute monster. But I'd like to know your take on all of this, so let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.